Vic Lombardi, Chris Dempsey, the birthday boy. Happy birthday. Nuggets got you a gift. And Christopher Marlowe.
Mine's in September.
All right, we'll remember that. Fellas, the last time these teams played in Denver in a playoff game, it ended a little differently. The Nuggets found a way tonight. Again, and it didn't start great. They were down 10 in the first quarter. Where did they find their inspiration to come back and win that game?
Yeah, so I just think sometimes you get punched in the gut a little bit before you punch back. And I thought for the Nuggets, that first quarter was Minnesota really just imposing its will on this basketball game. And then into that second quarter, into the third, it was the Nuggets really punching back. And I thought the aggressiveness level went through the roof. The defense in the third especially went through the roof. They just competed a whole lot harder. And once they started to do those things, the talent started to separate this game out.
Yeah, that first quarter was rough. Jokic was playing the facilitator, trying to get everybody involved, and the Nuggets weren't hitting. Minnesota was playing well. I thought the first 4 or 5 minutes of the second quarter, the Nuggets got in there and they started playing better. Got a little more aggressive on offense, a little more aggressive on defense. And I thought they held their own, and they got to halftime, and then in the third quarter, where Jokic started to pick it up, and that's where I think the game really turned.
All right, they shifted gears in the second quarter. Jeep shifting gears presented. In the second quarter, they scored 39 after being down 10 at the end of the first. They brought it, and you can thank the bench, guys. The bench gave them that spark. They were +6 in the non-Jokic minutes to start that second quarter. Jamal played a heavy hand in that, but the bench players came to ball early in this game.
Yeah, they really did. I mean, look, they start the second quarter for the majority of them do. And, you know, one of the things that I think is a key in this series is the Nuggets bench's ability for the bench to win that battle. You know, look, Minnesota brings off Ayo Dosunmu, obviously Naz Reid, who can fill it up a little bit when he gets going, and then Bones Highland. But it's a bench, though, that you can take advantage of, and you can do that from a scoring standpoint, and I thought the Nuggets did a really nice job there.
I hate to bury the lead, but someone in the pregame show said, hey, what's your key to the game? What's going to do it for the Denver Nuggets? His name was Jamal Murray. He carried the ball until Jokic took over. So I thought Jamal Murray was +13, the highest Nugget on the night, and I just thought he was amazing.
Yeah, well, Jamal Murray, what's crazy about his stat line, he didn't shoot the ball all that well. 7 for 22, 0 for 8 from 3, but he was 16 for 16 from the foul line, locked in. And he's with our Katie Wingy as we speak. Let's go downstairs.
All right, Jamal.
30 points for number 27. He did it the hard way. And, you know, the beauty of Jamal Murray, nothing really gets him out of his zone, out of his discomfort area. Because last year, and remember game 2, he threw that heat pad and things looked out of sorts. He looks totally focused.
You know, I have a theory, if I can just break in real quick. So, crazy stat line. He's got the 30, but he didn't shoot well. He got fouled so much, he never got into a shooting rhythm. 7 of 22, he missed all the threes. But at the free throw line, he was cooking. So, yeah, a playoff riser, that's for sure.
Yeah, it really is. And, you know, I think that when you take the totality of how many shots he took, I mean, that's, when you talk about the field goal attempts and the free throws, it's 38, right? He was very, very aggressive all night long, very aggressive, aggressive to the rim. He didn't settle for three-point shots. He didn't settle for the shot that Minnesota wanted him to take. No, he took the shot that he wanted to take in each of those possessions. And then on the flip side of this, I think the Nuggets do just a fabulous job of keeping him free and keeping defenders on his back and keeping him in space. He was not hemmed in at all in any real way, shape, or form in this basketball game. And as long as that continues to be the case, then he's going to be able to put numbers like this up.
Nikola Jokic, right? You're watching this game and you're saying, when is Nikola going to get going? He only attempted 4 shots in the first half. He was a little passive. And then you look at his final numbers, another triple-double, 25 points, 13 rebounds, 11 assists. He proved to be the closer. I mean, he just does what Nikola does.
You know, you'd always like him to be more aggressive at the start. Calm down, calm down. He's so gracious and so generous. He wants to get everybody involved. He wants to get everybody an assist. But once he puts his mind to it, it's off to the races.
Yeah, that's exactly what he did in that third quarter, in it, right? You know, we talked about where he was situated on the basketball court for the most part in the first half. And then the third quarter just got right straight to the rim. And as a matter of fact, I think his first 2 points in the paint came in the third quarter. And so he forced the issue to the rim where they really just can't guard him at all.
Yeah.
I think the Nuggets figured out in the first half that they probably should get him a couple of more touches in the actual paint for him to be effective right around the rim. Now, because look, now if he draws more defenders, now you spray it out for a three, and you can relocate.
He lulled them to sleep is what he did.
Exactly right. So it was just really well done, but it just looked like his energy level went way up in that third quarter as a scorer, as an aggressive
slices.
scorer.
Marlo, the Nuggets won. You can loosen your tie a little bit. We can go a little lax on the post-game show. Loosen it up. Loosen it up, Marlo. There you go. I mean, look at some of these fans here in the Colorado Social. Final stats. I do want to add this, fellas. When the Denver Nuggets hold the opposition under 110 points, they're 21-2 on the year.
Yeah, and defensively, they did the job. I mean, it didn't start out that way, but it finished that way, and that's all that matters. And then that free throw number there, Chris, is huge.
I tell you what, Chris Finch is going to be so mad tonight.
He's going to point that out.
He's going to point that out. He's going to say.
It was a great atmosphere here at Ball Arena today. The towels, it's just everything. The crowd was electric. You could feel it. As a matter of fact, Jamal Murray said that to Katie at the end of their interview, talking about just how great these fans were in cheering on their basketball team tonight. It was amazing. Yeah.
Talk about the stops of the game, brought to you by Breaks Plus, and I think the biggest defensive stop, third quarter defense, where they held the T-Wolves to 17 points in the third. They just locked them down. Was it Minnesota missing, or did the Nuggets make an adjustment?
I'll tell you what, you're not sure, but it seemed like the tempo picked up with the Nuggets. The energy and effort was better. I think Minnesota felt a little bit of the pressure and the atmosphere. Ball Arena was crazy. It was electric. These fans were unbelievable, and they just kind of succumbed to the pressure, I think.
Yeah, so I think for me, what I saw in that third quarter, I just saw a greater attention to detail and a greater level of energy defensively, right? Starting in the paint. So you just didn't have a bunch of Minnesota players roaming in the paint, doing what they want, finishing at the rim, or creating shots for others, act like you did in the first half. Passes just weren't getting through 2 and 3 sets of arms. That ball was getting deflected, stolen, and then they were running back the other way. And so when the Nuggets just established a better defensive posture like that in that third quarter, that's how you get numbers like that when you just shut a team down. Then Minnesota did them a favor. They didn't make any three-pointers. So if you can't get to the paint, and you're not making three-pointers, then I'll show you 26% in the quarter.
Nuggets showed some resolve.
Yes.
I like that word. They were just focused. That third quarter was a beautiful thing. They were going to take them out, and they did.
What's a baker's dozen? That's the Nuggets win streak right now. 13 straight.